Welcome back, or welcome to another episode of the Success Times Happiness podcast. I am your host, Richard Thompson. Today will be a solo episode. To be honest, I didn't really have a topic in mind to try to inspire you about, but I thought that it's probably best just to delve into what I'm experiencing at the moment, and hopefully it resonates with someone about, and maybe the takeaways you can learn from how I'm going through this period of my life will improve yours or help yours as well. So at the moment, it's obvious to me that there is so much change happening in my life, and the feeling that I have at the moment is put pretty simply, is just a high level of anxiety. Something that I haven't really experienced in a long time, or I don't think forever, to be on at this level, and maybe a little bit of sadness as a result of the anxiety, because it's something that has been sitting with me for quite some time, and I can't really shake. Best thing that I've done has been to see a professional, to see a psychologist about that, and about that anxiety and how to deal with it. But we've developed a strategy, at least in the short term, to look at this a different way. And that's what I want to share with you today about how we look at it. Because the anxiety is a really interesting piece. The first step, I guess, and the way that we've come about it at the moment in a short-term level is a 5-step process. First step is to identify the fear that consumes me about the future, I guess. And the concern that I did have, and the reason why I've made a decision, and this has sort of come from the difficulty or the what happened in May with Ultraman, the fact that I wasn't able to finish that race due to illness. Since then, everyone has said, "Oh, like, what are you going to do? Are you going to do this?" There's like 5 or 6 options of what I can do with my life going forward. And everyone's position is, well, it's wonderful, you've got choices. But part of me is like, oh, I'd really wish that wasn't the case. I really wish I just had one option, and that was whatever that was. So then I wouldn't be stuck in decision-making mode. And I think there's a fair bit of paralysis around that, and because I don't want to make the wrong decision. But going back a step, it's almost like I don't know what I'm looking for. I know previous episode when we talked about pivoting or persisting, the first step was being very clear as to what you want. And I still believe that, but I guess with the anxiety piece is that I just don't know. I just don't know what it is that I'm looking for. I don't know necessarily what it is that I want to do, and finding that drive and that purpose to that goal. Obviously, I acknowledge that the attributes that I have as a high performing human is that I'm so goal driven, and if I have a goal that I believe in and then I go after it, then that provides that purpose. But since May, I've certainly been treading water, not knowing which way to go. So the first step is identifying those fears, but on a more meta level, I was very concerned I'd be very comfortable in this feeling of not knowing, and that scared me. So I was like, right, I really have to make a decision as to which way I'm going and go towards something. So the biggest fear that I had, I guess, was not knowing which direction is the best way forward. But I think the reason why I don't know is because I'm not that clear as to which way I'm going. Nevertheless, it is still a feeling that I have, and the best way to describe it is like being in flight or fight mode all of the time. Like my senses it ebbs and flows, but there's no real sense of calmness or peace, and that's something that I really crave. So I guess on a meta level, that's what I'd like to be. I'd like to not have that flight or fight response to everything. And I have gone through a lot of change in my life, certainly, and particularly over the last few months. But identifying that, and to say that's exhausting and that's not something that I want to have is enough for me to go, right, we need to make a choice here. We need to decide what we're going to do. But I think the second step is using that fear of the unknown or whatever, that anxiety, use that to your advantage. So you lean into it. You don't look at it as a threat to your survival. You don't look at the flight or fight feeling as a threat to your well-being, but you use it as a piece of information. So you look at it, so that feeling inside of me, I need to look at, instead of what's coming around the corner in the future, but more to say, okay, this is an unsettling feeling. Use that as a piece of information. So you can accept that, yeah, the puzzle isn't complete, right? The puzzle, maybe all the puzzle pieces are everywhere and you've got to put them together. But it's understanding that that feeling is because the puzzle pieces aren't together, not because you can't fix the puzzle itself. So to understand that you look at the puzzle now, have some peace in the fact that that will be made whole soon. And you just got to figure out how to put the pieces back together rather than the red lights and the sirens going off in your head going, I just can't fix that puzzle. The third step is to not bounce back too quickly. Now, I certainly haven't been guilty of that, but to sit with your fear and to really absorb it. And a great quote is by Tim Grover, who was the strength and conditioning coach with Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, who said, when you've been knocked down, confidence gives you the patience to stay down for a minute until you know how to get up better than you were before. Most people jump right back up because they don't want to look weak or damaged and then immediately get knocked down again. When you're confident in your ability to recover, you'll know you'll never be weak or damaged again. So part of me is like, I guess, has followed that to go, I'm happy to stay on the floor here for a little bit and to not just quickly bounce back and go, oh, this is what I'm doing, because I don't want to look at failure or don't want to be perceived as someone who didn't achieve. But to be able to say, yep, this feeling, I can absorb it and then take stock on how to be better. So when you do get up, you're not going to get knocked back down again so quickly or so easily. Number 4 is then to create goals that are the musts. So when you sit and you clarify what you want in life, is to create then the goals that are the must, or that are the unconditionals. What is it that you want in life? And maybe you don't know that. And that is certainly my position as well. At this position, at this season of life, I'm not necessarily sure at what rank of priority those goals are that I want from life. And so let alone the reasons why that's the case. One thing that I do know, that if treading water and staying where you are at this present moment, if that's not answering those questions, if those are unknowns and treading water is not providing any clarity on finding those answers as to what you want, then you've got to move. And it may not be a direction that you want or a direction that you could go or should go. That might be in itself, which is for my case, a little bit challenging to understand which way is the right way. But I can, with 100% confidence, accept that by treading water, I'm not finding an answer. So by going forward and going towards something will provide clarity as to what I want in this new season of life, or what I want from life at this point in time. And so that's where it's like, that hit home to me and said, okay, you've got to make a decision, because this may not be the right decision, but by making that decision, you're going to find the clarity that you're looking for. Number 5 is start going down that direction to find a greater level of clarity. They're the steps in the short term, I think, in turning anxiety into success. And it's all very uncomfortable, and you've got to lean into that, and you've got to look at, success is when you take on the onslaught, take on the uncomfortable or the discomfort, because that's where success will lie on the other side of that. But they're the 5 steps, how I've applied to myself at this moment. And I'm certainly happy to be vulnerable and open about this to you guys, because I think that's really important. My fear was to not know what I should be doing going forward in my life, whether I should go back as an athlete, whether I should start another online business of any sort, whether I should continue coaching full-time, whether I should go back to law, and a few other options. I guess the biggest fear was I didn't know which way to go and which way I didn't want to regret making the wrong choice. I mean, it's not just career, it's also my relationship with my boys and my relationship with my partner and my friends, and everything is, that's really they're all really important elements of my life, and don't want to make wrong decisions that will adversely impact any of that. So I had that level of anxiety, using that information to my advantage to know that it's not just that flight or fight is not just for survival, but it's information to know that the pieces of the puzzle are on the floor, but I have the full confidence in my ability to put those pieces back and to create a life that I truly love and that I truly feel safe and at peace with. I'm not bouncing back too quickly. That's definitely one that's ticked, because I've been feeling like this since May, but certainly very conscious of not getting back up until I'm absolutely sure that I won't be back down on the floor anytime soon. And then to create goals that I must and find the way, and to keep going until you find them. So I've made, because the indecision wasn't providing clarity for me, just doing not much, little bits here and there, it wasn't really giving me that drive or that purpose. And not knowing exactly what I want going forward in this life, in this sort of season of life, I've made the decision to go back to law. I don't know whether that's what I want long term, if that's the form of employment or of work or of career that I want to follow. But in the next 2, 4, 6 weeks, 3 months, 6 months, it will provide some massive clarity that I don't have right now. And so that's the position that I'm in, that I can go, okay, I'll at least, that will solidify what exactly I'm looking for in life, and how do I and what I want to put together that perfect life for me. Because I truly believe, and this is to anybody, you can create, lifestyle creation is up to us, is up to you. You can create anything you want in terms of lifestyle that you desire, that you want you want in your life. If you want to work from home, if you don't want to work a full-time job, you can create that. And I'm more than happy to, if you guys want to reach out and ask ways that I think you could do it, I'm more than happy for that to happen, because I truly believe there's no point. We get one go at this life. So why would we want to do anything that we don't want to do? Definitely believe that there's sacrifice and there's uncomfortableness and difficulty in any sort of pursuit. But on the whole, you should be really enjoying the journey that you're on. And if you're not, then it's a surefire time to take stock and to work out exactly what you would change if you could, and then go after that. So I hope that that's a lot of dribble, but I hope it's some help to, if you're experiencing some sort of anxiety or uncomfortableness with the unknown, you're better to move on something to provide clarity than sit in the status quo without answers. That's about it. But thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being part of this podcast, this journey for us, for Cody and I. It's really enjoyable. We love talking to people, learning how to be more successful and happy, and learning from experiences of the guests that we've had on. We'll be here for a long, long time. So it's a long project for us, and we're really enjoying the journey. If you do enjoy any of the episodes that we create, feel free to please share with your friends or family. But until next time, peace.